My people, if you know say you stand, I better make you sit down. Make you listen to waiting I want talk so. Because this news, it is very important. In fact, if you know anybody where they consider polygamy, I be make you share this video, give them. Make you send this video, give them. Make you tell them, say, man, polygamy. No be the person they consider. No be wait the person they use the money to they buy. Now this one, I can make me bring this news of Dr. Bass. We be say that they swear on in. As they swear on in, the man come with the second wife. I call her a second wife because facially you go tell say that woman is second wife. And they swear on the swearing in they go on. The judge they tell and say, do you want to do this and do that? So in they talk after am say, okay, yes, God will help me. If they talk and they go. The next thing, if you see the speed where one woman take come in between them, part Dr. Abbas go one side, part the judge go one side. In fact, give the woman way they back, which is Dr. Abbas' wife. You give her posa for her like this. The woman come soft, shift herself, go back. Now so she can't stand for the middle. Now we can't look away. We not say, how be this woman? Hey, now they will call the yes and the man wife or say two wives now he married. Wait, before I go further, the now two wife he married for the television station what we see. So if you be say some day house, if you be say some women day house, but the ones we be say in one way in carry come there, and the other one we talk say you no go agree, make they put her for house, so you go follow and go to the ceremony. Now be the two wives who come for the ceremony for the inauguration. Okay, just imagine. Say if this man marry 5 stubborn wives, the same stubborn wives will come perform the same nonsense with that his first wife perform. And the funniest thing, when that second one says and say this woman don't come with her trouble again. No what the woman just have to go one place, can't go past the other side. One of the man will stand there, can't give her space, make she stand. And when she can't stand, only when they say where. I think sit down where you come and you come like both say now my husband had to do inauguration, so Mr. go see the here. Now only her scarf now we can't see. We not see her face, we not see her head, we not see anything. My people, polygamy not good though. Don't they tell person no? Just imagine, only one bring 2 women come inauguration, and we believe say you still get some for house, or because say you get money. Okay, so the next story what we get, my people, we can say Tinubu may not be like say I dey talk. I just they talk I just want to talk the way they talk So Tinubu don't inaugurate another set of body where they call National Economic Council. And it talk say the purpose of this council where NBC informs so now to advise the president on waiting to do on some certain matters. It be not too bad, sha. It be not too bad, a good thing. Make the advisor, make the tell president say, now one step at a time. Not be say you go suspend person, the person never go trial. They never finish one, you just suspend another person. They never finish that one, you just suspend another person. They never see help for subsidy, you they bring electricity. They never see help for electricity, you they amend the constitution. They never see help for the constitution, you they give person another suspension again. They never see help for that one, you they bring boss recome again. Our president need advice. Yes, so he need advice. Or what need advice? He need advice. Because this body will be saying said so. Of course, they go work. And it comes to talk, say, not be only the president, but they go say they oversee some matters. Where be say it consign within, how this government go to move forward. So not be bad thing, now be that one. So for that one, I say clap for them. Because the people will be say, you suppose arrest. You know, arrest them. You go to arrest the one will be say they use. Because there are people, not the person that in give 500 billion. Why you not arrest the person who collect the 500 billion? That's the question. Why on not they arrest people will be say they get away with some certain things? You guys are not arresting them. By now, for don't the year say they don't arrest governors, so if you say they chop money, they don't do anything. For don't the year all those ones. Or for don't the year say they arrest some ministers. But we're not the year all those ones. Don't the year be the ones who be say, man, you get absolute power over. But the ones that connived and put you there, you know they touch them. This one be the government will be say, Obi talk say he won't con change all of a sudden. But how far Tinubu fit go for all this journey? That's the question. How far Tinubu fit go for this journey? I feel say I wish I make it go well. But whatever he's trying to do, I believe is setting, they set a platform for Obi, in case Obi they finally give her a mandate. In they set the platform for Obi. In they wet the ground now. And if Obi say yes, he decide to give Obi a mandate, the work will come easy for Obi because Tinubu don already start am. And of which the world go give a hand, they will clap for him. Say because he do well, at least even na 100 days, now he spend as a president, he go down in history. Say at least he try. Say he don't set record for Obi. Now the question, we would ask ourselves this question. Let's be very, very truthful about it. I don't say now Obi na he enter. I'm not sure say Obi for the suspend all these people when they suspend. So I'm not sure because if I had, because a lot of people are corrupt. So I still feel in a way, you guys should not criticize me. I stand on the path of truth. Say it take a bad person to fish out bad thing. Tinubu himself, I believe say himself not still pure. So that's why he's able to still work and remove some certain things away from the system. But the question is this. Is he doing the right thing by selecting the people he's taken out of the system or is suspending? Because you they suspend the ones who be say the same message. You they leave the one where he send the people the message. My people, this country go good if we tell ourselves the truth. Right now, so now Bod TV. Thank you so much. Bye. Area, me forget. Wahala una. I dey craze. They don't burn me well. Hey, I hail you now. Correct. Like, say tomorrow not day not too much. For life, I'm indebted to you guys. Man, you are just too much. Without you, there is nothing like this channel. There is nothing like Bod. In fact, from the deepest part within inside my heart, that place where they beat. In fact, I hail una do well for the likes, for the subscription, for the comments. In fact, I read every comment you drop. God will bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mama say always now in your way, and that is why I've come to say thank you, and I will never stop saying it while we say.
With reactions to the suspension of Abdurrashid Bawa, chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday, Bawa's suspension follows weighty allegations of abuse of office levied against him. In a statement by Willie Bassi, the Director of Information in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the 43-year-old EFCC boss was directed to immediately hand over the affairs of his office to the Director of Operations in the Commission, pending the conclusion of investigations on allegations levied against him. While the development comes less than a week after Godwin Emefiele, former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, was also suspended by the president. Well, let's take some tweets. This person wrote, 2 weeks in office, Tinubu. Fuel subsidy gone, foreign exchange rate unified, CBN governor suspended, EFCC chairman suspended, Student Loan Act signed, Electricity Act signed, Data Protection Act signed, Constitution Amendment signed, Chief of Staff appointed, SGF appointed. Well, Sports Doctor wrote, for those jumping up that Tinubu has suspended EFCC Chairman Bawa, Tinubu that is going after everyone that messed with him one after the other, systematically dismantling them. He wants to fight corruption, and Hadi Sirika is still a free man. The senator and his wife judge are still flexing. Well, Shewu wrote, how Mr. Bawa's day went on Wednesday, 14 June 2023. Woke up as EFCC chairman, visited the villa, met President Tinubu, left the villa. President Tinubu suspends him indefinitely. President says he has to answer to weighty allegations of abuse of office. DSS invites Mr. Bawa. Mr. Bawa likely spent the night in DSS custody. I believe Shewu is absolutely right. There is a picture that was circulating, and I think he posted that with that picture. The suspended EFCC chairman last night honored an invitation by the Department of State Services hours after he was asked to stay off work indefinitely by the president. The spokesperson for the DSS, Dr. Peter Afunaya, confirmed in a statement that Abdurrashid Bawa arrived at DSS headquarters last night. All right, Rufai, I believe we did this. You guys did highlight this earlier this morning, but I wanted to take some reactions from social media. I mean, this is not uncommon, right, with presidents. They do suspend. I mean, it seems like it's becoming a trend, correct? Yes. They are suspending the EFCC chairman. But what happened to Magu at this point? Was he not...
I mean, truth was, they were done with Magu, just like they're done with Bawa. There are no hard feelings. I saw this coming, and it will have been funny if Bawa had not seen this coming. They were going to be done with him at some point. And the way in which they do it, they suspend you. They said they are weighty allegations. In the case of Magu, they went through the Justice Salami panel. We went through all of that. Till date, we have not seen the result of that panel. We just need to see the weighty allegations, behind all of this. And like the DSS, once they're done with their investigation, if he's going to be charged to court, let him be charged to court. It's as simple as ABC. But we should also respect his fundamental rights and stop this trial by media like we always say. That's what's happening now. Because that always happens, and in the end, you'll be looking for the weighty allegations. In the case of Magu, till date, we're still waiting for those allegations. We've never seen it. But, I'm not really surprised. Any new incumbent president comes in, he wants his own people, but their rights should be respected. Like till date, I don't know what's going on with the Mefele. He ought to have been charged to courts, except if the DSS has gone to get another, court order to be able to keep him, to investigate him further. If they've not done that, he ought to have been charged to court. He's got a fundamental human right, just like I will say in the case of Bawa too. After investigating, the law provides for how long you can keep somebody in your custody. So no hard feelings. That's the way it works. Yes. And it's not even only him. It's just only gone on and on like that. You have many cases. Adiza Bala Osman is another one. She was suspended. When the investigation was done, we were not told anything until she had to write a book to clear her name and say what happened. A very fantastic book. I read the book, Stepping on Toes. Yes. So that's the way the government works. Once they are done with you, they are done with you. The case of Magu particularly made me laugh. Because Magu's case was very funny. Because the Senate had not given a say-so as regards confirmation on Magu, and he was allowed to serve so many years as acting. Yes. But nobody saw anything wrong with it. But when they were done with him, they were so quick to kick him out and you see there are lots of people that are going to be kicked out.
Wasn't he reappointed?
You get
as a police. He had a position.
Absorbed was absorbed in the police force. Yes, so once they're done with you, they're done with you. Another thing I quickly want to remember, because any person that said Hadi Sirika, I think there's a story that's making the rounds as regards Hadi Sirika being invited by the EFCC.
I saw that.
So just to be able to balance
not
that.
Not 100% confirmed.
Not 100%
but
balanced.
Breaking news as well.
So I saw that story, and I think a couple of the papers took it.
Yeah.
But that's just it. They're done with Bawa, on to the next one. And hey, whoever comes in next, should remember that when they're done with you too, probably they might treat you this way or not like this if you're lucky.
But should that be the case?
That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, that's the question I wanted to ask you. But you see, also my tweets highlighted all of the achievements within 2 weeks of the Tinubu administration. I mean, it's like a complete house cleaning. But the other person was saying that Tinubu is trying to target the people that have come after him. And that is actually the rhetoric on social media. The development is coming as the immediate past governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, asked the High Court in the state to perpetually restrain the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission from investigating him over video clips allegedly showing him receiving wads of dollars from a contractor. The video, which trended on social media in 2018 and published by the Daily Nigerian, showed the former governor allegedly receiving the bundles of dollar notes and stuffing them inside his flowing garment, otherwise known as babariga. While the governor debunked the content of the video, the Kano House of Assembly subsequently set up a committee to investigate the allegations. The EFCC is the only defendant in the suit. Dr. Bati, over to you.
Well, that video was in 2018, and it became a big issue. And I think on account of that video that was released by a particular newspaper, Dr. Ganduje, as governor then, took Jafar to court, the journalist that made, that wrote that story and reported it. Now, I think it's very strange because since that 2018, the House of Assembly in Kano State set up a committee to investigate the governor. Till date, till the lifetime of that assembly expired last week, that committee never submitted any report.
Imagine that.
Which is the way things go in this country. And this is why we say the legislature, has been so terribly abused to the extent that, those lawmakers, the oversight function that they are supposed to perform, they don't perform it. The allegation is that the governor was collecting money from a contractor and he was pocketing the money under his bull-boss rope, And this was part of the money we were told meant for SUBEP, for the education sector in that particular state. So you have the House of Assembly taking such a long time and never completing the investigation, never submitting the report. And it's now on the basis of all of this that the former Attorney General of Kano State has now gone to court seeking a restraining order against the EFCC from investigating Governor Ganduje. Well, since the matter is still in court, we can just comment on it peripherally. One of the prayers that the former Attorney General is placing before the court is that, one, EFCC should not intervene until that matter is concluded by the House of Assembly. Which House of Assembly? A House of Assembly that did nothing. And that, two, until the case between Ganduje and Jafar, is determined in the court of law. But the thing to note here is that, well, it's up to the court. Let us not do the work of the court for it. But to an ordinary person, this looks ridiculous. When a man is governor, Section 308 grants him immunity. But when he's out of office, he has no immunity. He can be investigated. So taking EFCC to court, EFCC has not even summoned him. EFCC has not started investigating him. They are already warning the EFCC not to attempt it. I mean, what kind of country is this? Which in itself is a violation of the rights of the EFCC, as outlined in its own Establishment Act. So the question to ask is, what is Dr. Ganduje afraid of? If he's not afraid of anything, if the EFCC wants to invite him, they can invite him. It doesn't mean that he's already guilty. They will carry out their investigations. And you should be reminded that it can't be going about threatening to slap people. Because this one is also like threatening to slap the EFCC. The other day he was at the villa. He said if he saw Kwankwanso, he would slap him.
That will feature on what's trending.
Some of these characters who get to leadership position in Nigeria, But it can be sure, of course, that Governor Abba Yusuf, the current governor of Kano State, will not listen to him. Already, Abba Yusuf has turned himself into a demolition man, demolishing things all over the town.
Why don't I take that story?
But you can be sure that having lost his immunity, even the Kano State government would investigate him. So will he go to court and say the new government must not inquire into his activities when he was there?
He probably would. Well, all right. You mentioned the Kano State governor. In another development, some residents in Kano State have condemned the Kano State government's decision to demolish a multi-million naira road structure known as the Kano Golden Jubilee Monument, which they say was done in public interest. The governor of the state, Abba Kabir Yusuf, ordered the demolition in the early hours of Wednesday and personally supervised the demolition, which lasted for 3 hours. The roundabout was erected in 2017 to commemorate the state's 50th anniversary. I mean, look at this. I mean, this was this.
See,
not so unnecessary.
I think Governor Kabir Yusuf of Kano should remember this. The Yorubas have a saying. They say Adiyera no kinsho wajegbe. What it means is there's a chicken they normally make for people, sort of like a transit chicken to the world of beyond. And if they eat yours, you eat theirs. Governor Kabir Yusuf should remember that the way Governor Ganduje is running helter-skelter now, he will leave office one day. And he will be judged by the things he had done. He should stop this vindictive nature. This thing was done in the interest of public good. The argument they are making is that it's disrupting traffic and everything. No. There's something they call social monuments for every society. Mm-hmm. He's built this, let it be. And stop all this vindictive nature. Because after all is said and done, whoever is pushing him to do all of this, they will leave him high and dry. So he should be careful. He should be careful, because at some point, Governor Ganduje reigned supreme and felt he was the lord of the manure. But look at him today. He could bring in the National Assembly to investigate something and on so that he will exonerate himself of the case of the Gandola scandal. We can't forget, that's when the name Gandola came from.
Yeah, that's how he got his name.
Yeah, Gandola. But the truth is, today, you are the one now begging the court to help you hold EFCC. It just reminds me of a man that wants to, you want to say you want to fight with somebody else and you're saying they should tie the hand of the other person. No!
Yeah.
Let the law take its course. Please, he should cool down on things. He has gone on a lot of this demolition exercise. Yeah. Also for landed property, you go on. Even if the titles were not properly done, in the case of landed properties, because I hear it's also after landed properties, can you fix things? Can you use those houses that have been built for economic value for the state and viability? But doing this and I, so look at how much money has been spent on this. Look at the waste because you want to prove a point.
Yeah.
Let's not do this to one another.
Absolutely.
Please.
Are you a piece of history destroyed in public interest? I mean, how is this possible? Really?
Horrible. I think my biggest take is the amount of money that's been wasted because we want to prove a point. In addition to the traffic, Rufai, his spokesperson also said that it was due to the fact that it was substandard material that was used to build the monument, and that the engineers who had assessed the monument said it would collapse in 2023 or 2024. If that is indeed the case, then it is a real issue for concern, because we have heard issues around building collapse and the likes. And then, if that is the case, then there must be a probe into the amount of money spent on that project and the contractors on that project, why they use substandard projects, and heads have to roll. Unfortunately, that's something that we don't often hear whereby there are consequences to actions. But who funded this project? It's probably taxpayers' money. It's high time we started to demand accountability for money spent. You cannot spend 160 million naira in 2019 to refurbish that, and then a few years down the line, you're destroying the property. What happened to the multi-million naira spent on that project? Absolutely. It is ridiculous. It's a waste of taxpayers' money, and we must get to the bottom of this.
Absolutely.
And the governor is also saying that that monument will be reconstructed, because that monument was erected in 2017 to mark the 50th anniversary of the state.
Yes.
So, and it says that the monument is blocking the visibility of the entrance to Government House. But to the extent that it says they will reconstruct it, that's fine. But what is worrisome is that since he got there, the only visible activity he has been conducting has been the demolition of buildings at the race course, and also at the Eid praying ground, on the grounds that these were public lands given out to cronies of Governor Ganduje, as he then was, to erect buildings. But he needs to explain to the people. He needs to carry the people along. You can't just wake up one morning, something that the people are used to. You give one or two excuses, and you demolish it.
These have been reconstructed not to block the thing that he's talking about. Since
he says it will be reconstructed, let him now build his own, and let us see the quality structure that he will put there, because that monument had become historical for the people of Kano.
All right, then.
And another person demolish his own too.
And he shouldn't go about victimizing people, because it looks like he's on a vendetta mission. You know, he just wants to discredit Ganduje. Ganduje is not well loved by many people, but at least, you know, government is continuous, and he shouldn't focus on vendetta. We need to hear from him what he wants to do for the development of Kano State, the welfare of the people of Kano State. He hasn't said enough on that since he assumed office. He should begin to focus on that.
All right, then. We'll take our final story. The swearing-in ceremony of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, on Tuesday took a dramatic turn after one of the wives barged in on proceedings and shoved the Speaker's other wife aside as she jostled for recognition. The action appeared to have shocked the newly elected lawmaker, who halted his oath swearing to exchange words with the wife who interrupted the event. Well, let's take a look at a snippet of that interaction before we come back for a discussion.
I, Abbas Tajuddin,
do solemnly,
but we are different from governors,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
to
the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
and that I will preserve
that the Speaker of the House,
and that I will preserve
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So help me God.
So help me God.
What is the portable say? Wahala, wahala, wahala. I have to come to you. Wait. This is complete wahala. But this is as the newly elected Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, during the 10th Senate legislative activities on Wednesday, took a swipe at his closest rival, Abdulaziz Yari, stating that he did not prepare a speech during the inauguration of the 10th House because he knew he was contesting against an uncommon transformer like him. Let's take a look.
Senator Abdulaziz Yari, Echi, you didn't have a written speech because you were not sure you win contesting against an uncommon transformer like me. so we'll look at it again.
Complete wahala, Dr. Martin.
Well, Godswill Akpabio and his sense of humor.
I love it.
Good.
I just
and it's good to see
former
Governor Abdulaziz Yari also just laughing it off like that. Well, Akpabio says he's an uncommon governor, uncommon transformer.
Correct.
That's what he has taken to the Senate. But as for Tajuddin Abbas, well, he ended his speech. He said, "So help me God." Well, may Allah help him. Because if his wives would behave like this in public, can you imagine what they do at home? In fact, we thank God that they didn't descend into combat in full view of television cameras in public. Well, polygamy and his discontents. Isn't that what is projected here? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the other wife even gained more visibility because she was better positioned. Yeah. But in public, you know, that was quite an event. I hope that Dr. Abbas, going forward, will have learned 1 or 2 lessons from it, so that he will not be bringing his wives to the public space so that they don't quarrel.
We are learning from you, Dr. Abati. I hope that this is a good lecture.
Oji, why would you say such a thing? Leave Shebi is the man that carry himself to marry more than one wife. Let him face what he's facing in public.
Polygamy
is polygamy.
Absolutely.
Is it not easy to say? You see, for me, I'm like Musa in the gate. There's nothing me, Musa, no go see for this gate of this Nigeria National Assembly. Take for instance,
you can't comment on polygamy.
It is this same.
Even comment on monogamy.
It is in this same national. It's in this same National Assembly that we had a lawmaker come and say he had how many wives, parade all the wives. I said the reason why he's capable is because he's married so many wives.
All right.
The big displays returned today with more boxes of evidence, this time containing PVC information, as P2B and Labour Party continue their quest to prove to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal judges that they won the presidential election. The judges are already filing into the courtroom for the start of proceedings. You can see the representative of different parties on screen. Levi Esayen is already on his feet. My lord, we are ready to start, and my learned brother Ibazo Esayen will kickstart the proceeding. He's up already addressing the court. Quickly, my lord, we will now call the subpoenaed witness, Professor Eric, and the witness was sworn in. The LP counsel is already asking him a question. Tell the court what you do. I am a professor of mathematics at Anambra University, the witness responded. The INEC counsel is on his feet. My lord, I have just been served this morning, just a few minutes ago, with this sworn written statement of the witness. And I can see from the witness statement, which I have not even been able to read through, that there are 6 or about 7 appendices, and this obviously is a star witness. To be honest, I and my team are handicapped on how to proceed this morning with this witness. I would have thought that the counsel, in the spirit of cooperation, that this should have been given to us in good time, because it's not about ambush or taking us by surprise. So if the counsel wants to continue with his witness, they should step him down and give us all the documents to allow us proceed properly. This is my humble prayer to the court. Thank you, my lord. Tinubu's counsel wants to make a submission. My lord, I want to agree with my colleague to step down this witness so that we can study this document. He should be stepped down for a few minutes, like my colleague stated. The INEC counsel quickly interrupts him. I didn't say minutes. I don't know where you got that. I'm not a genius like you. The rules are clear. We need 48 hours. At this point, the presiding judge comes in. You say the rule says 48 hours. Which rule says that? The schedule, my lord, the INEC Council continues. It states 48 hours for expert witness. Also, the Federal High Court rule states the same. Tinubu's counsel is taking the mic. My lord, I just spoke with my colleague. The witness can go on, but we will not cross-examine him today, but much later, because we will not be ambushed. The APC counsel adds his own voice. My lord, we will also serve this witness disposition a few minutes before the court sitting. We align ourselves with the submission of Chief Olanipeku that subject to your lord's submission, the witness can continue, but we will cross-examine him later and not today. We can go on with the witness adoption today. I am waiting for Mahmood to confirm that we can go on with the adoption, suggested the LP counsel. The INEC counsel is in agreement, so Ikpeazu SAN continues with the witness adoption. Where do you work? I am a mathematician at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, responded the witness. Do you recognize your statement? The LP counsel asks him. Yes, I do, with my signature and what I wrote. So do you adopt this document with you as your statement? The respondents didn't even allow him to finish. They're already jumping up and shouting objection. My lord, we object to this adoption of the witness statement. The INEC counsel is on his feet. My lord, we also object the adoption of this witness and will state our reasons at the final stage of address. Their objections today won't go without being challenged, as the LP counsel is already flipping through the pages of the Electoral Act. My lord, the Electoral Act states that a witness is mandated to present statements and also cross-examination process. Do you adopt your evidence in chief? He asked the witness. Before the adoption, I want to make a clarification on page 5, the witness responded. The presiding judge cuts him. No, you cannot make corrections. You have adopted. The LP counsel isn't taking it. My lord, the witness is allowed to point out the few areas that he wishes to correct, just like we have done previously before he adopts. Okay, agreed the judge. So proceed, witness. The LP counsel waves at its witness. In bracket C, table 3 that shows River State documents should be replaced with table 2 and 3 of Benue State documents, the witness explained. Honorable Justice Ada wants a clarification from the witness. What of the E or F? Which one is supposed to be there? E has sub-documents and the entire segment is for Benue, replies the witness. That's an alteration, asks the presiding judge. No, my lord, it's an amendment. It's a typographical error, clarified the LP counsel. The presiding judge doesn't want to accept it. The only way I can accept this is if he withdraws the statement. While you can correct what you need corrected, I cannot use pen to alter my document. My lord, the LP counsel begins. We have done this before. He has not adopted the statement yet. He can make corrections when needed. It's just one line of table 2 and 3. That's all. It can be corrected. We have made corrections before with statements in this courtroom. The INEC counsel is about to say something. The only way we can accept it is if he withdraws the statement. He should withdraw and make all his corrections and come back another time. While the LP counsel was about to defend his position, the INEC counsel told him, "Learned colleague, please, I'm still on my feet. This correction is too substantive and we won't allow it." The LP counsel insists. Corrections to statements have been done here before, just before adoption of statements. I don't see the issue now. At this point, the INEC counsel throws in the towel. My lord, we leave it to your discretion, but I have made my stance known. Tinubu and APC counsels echoed the same thing. The LP counsel, now feeling elated that he has won the argument, told the court, "We allowed Olanipeku make corrections before, so there should be no problem. Let him make the corrections and let's proceed," agreed the presiding judge. "Thank you, my lord. You can see the whole page there. It's written Benue. So that statement beneath that shows Rivers is typographical error. So change it to Benue." The judge motioned him to go ahead. Witness, do you adopt your witness statement? The LP counsel resumes questioning his witness. Yes, I do, he responded. On paragraph 4 on page 3, you mentioned 18,088 blood polling unit results. Yes, I did, answered the witness. Where is it? Asked the presiding judge. Paragraph 9, 1, 2, and 3, my lord. We will now tender all these documents. We have gone the extra mile of making copies for our learned friends on the other side so that we don't need to apply again to make copies. He goes on to start distributing thick copies of documents. While they were distributing them, it put the courtroom in hysterics, including the judges, because of how huge the documents are. The only people not finding it amusing are the respondents, who were shocked at the size of the document. The LP counsel continues, "My lord, we are kind enough to make them copies so they won't stress themselves. The presiding judge understands his sarcasm. I can see how nice you are. You are very nice with these loads of documents." This judge. Objections are raining though. After the INEC counsel objected, Tinubu's counsel said, "My lord, when I saw these boxes this morning, I thought it's Ashebi for the daughter of my learned colleague, that it is for her wedding." The APC counsel isn't impressed at all by the joke. "We object to this and we will give reasons in full at the final address." After all the jokes and arguments, the presiding judge admitted the reports in evidence and marked them Exhibit PCG 1 to 3. Thereafter, the court went on a 10-minute break. During this break, the court clerks invited the LP counsel to come over and explain the huge documents to them. To paint a picture of how huge these documents are, they are about 6 to 8 inches thick, and there are 3 reports. So going by what the Labour Party brought into the court today, it means that one box is for each of the respondents. So you can imagine the time it will take the respondents to go through them and prepare themselves for cross-examination of the witness. The LP legal team also made it easier to peruse by creating an appendix that explains everything in the report. In trials like this, while it might be an advantage to overwhelm the respondents with too much evidence, you do not want to overwhelm the judges. They are humans too. You need to make their work easier for them so that they can quickly understand where you're coming from and buy into your argument. The faster and easier you make them to understand your case, the higher the chance of their delivering the judgment in your favor. Now the court is back in session and the LP counsel is already on his feet. "Thank you, my lord, and thank you for the time to explain the documents. Now, witness, you mentioned 18,088 blood result sheets from IREV. While the witness was about to respond, Tinubu's lawyer cut him off. "My lord, objection. How much time will this witness spend in this court? They should let us know what kind of witness he is so that we can know how long he's supposed to have. He has used over 2 hours now, and even expert witnesses are not allowed to use such time. We have spent the whole day on this one witness." The LP counsel quickly moves to respond. "My lord, we are not the ones wasting time. And by the way, we are only laying more foundation so that you can justify the 48 hours you need to cross-examine him." At this point, the presiding judge asked the LP counsel, "Are these documents certified by INEC? Please try to round up. We give you 3 minutes." "My lord, we are very grateful. We seek to tender 18,088 blood polling unit results and the ones uncovered." And before the judge could ask any objections started raining from the usual quarters. While they were busy objecting, some Labour Party lawyers started serving the respondents more documents. The judge admitted the 4 boxes in evidence and tagged them Exhibits PCE 1 to 4. The LP counsel is on his feet again. "Witness, you were given an engagement to carry out data analysis on the total election by Labour Party." "Yes," he responded. "You were also subpoenaed here." "Yes." "Let me have the letter." While he was giving him the letter, the presiding judge makes a remark. "We are aware of the subpoena, but we don't know about the letter. It's a letter of engagement, my lord, dated 20th February 2023. Signed by Labour Party to this statistician to carry out data analysis on the whole election for them. My lord, I seek to tender the letter and subpoena from the second petitioner to our witness." The judge asked for objection. This time, respondents objected differently. Tinubu's counsel objected the letter being tendered, but they didn't object the subpoena. APC counsel did the opposite. They are okay with the letter, but not the subpoena. INEC counsel didn't object to the subpoena, but objected to the letter being admitted. There's serious confusion in the respondents' camp. Tinubu's counsel asked APC's counsel to object the same way he did, but he refused, saying, "I have my reasons." The first time they've disagreed in court. After the documents were admitted in evidence, the LP counsel stood up. I will now call the witness from Arise TV. And after the witness was seated, he asked him, "Witness, tell the court your name. My name is Lumi. Where do you work?" "I work at Arise News." The presiding judge cut saying, "I hope we will be done with this witness before 1 p.m. "Yes, my lord," responded the LP counsel, and he continues questioning his witness. "Witness, you were subpoenaed?" "Yes." "Do you have it here?" "Yes, I do." "My lord, I now tender this subpoena and his ID card." This time, none of the respondents objected. Anyway, the LP counsel continued questioning his witness. "Do you adopt this statement as yours?" "Yes, I do." "You mentioned a flash drive in your paragraph 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of your statement." "Yes, I did." "Do you have the flash drive here?" "Yes, I do." "My lord, I seek to tender the flash drive in evidence containing video recordings to be shared with my learned colleagues." All respondents objected to the flash drive being admitted by the court. It was admitted anyway, and the LP counsel made another request. "My lord, we seek for the video to be played in the open court. It's just about 3 minutes long." "Any objection?" asked the presiding judge. This time, none of them objected to the video being played, and they went on to play this video where the INEC chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, told the world at Chatham House, UK, the number of registered voters and other information concerning our election. After watching the video, the LP counsel sought the permission of the court to call another witness, but the presiding judge said, "We will tomorrow. Let the witness come back tomorrow. This case is hereby adjourned to tomorrow."